Now back home on the Lal Street, the Nifty ended with a cut of around 0.5% odd. The Sensex as well was down close to around 150 points. Keep in mind, they had a good recovery from the low point of the day. The mid-caps saw a subdued fall of around 0.2%, while the banks took a beating in trade. The index was down close to around 0.75%. Anisha joins in bright and early to tell us about all the market cues that are stacked up for us. Hey Anisha, morning.
Hey Nigel, a very good morning. Well, yes, as you mentioned, we closed off the low point of the day and there were heavyweights like ICICI and HDFC Twins that were really exerting pressure on the downside. But then there was Yes Bank that was up around 7%, and add to that Infosys and Sun Pharma. Those were the key reasons why the Nifty closed off the low point of the day. In fact, we saw high deliverable quantities being traded in all these counters. So as far as NSE is concerned, Yes Bank saw a delivery volume of around 20%, and the likes of Sun Pharma and Infosys had that number over 35%. But overall, there was a bit of selling from the FIIs because remember, the FIIs sold around 730 crores in the cash equity markets. The DIIs, they did try to pump in money, but they could not match it, and by the end of the day, they had bought in around 530 crores in the cash equity market yesterday. As far as the queue for today is concerned, in terms of the global queues, they look a tad bit subdued because remember, the mother market, that is the US market, ended in the red. The Dow pulled back 86 points. There, of course, there are concerns that the shutdown of the government really continues, and add to that, the weak trade data that we got from China yesterday actually sombered the mood a tad bit when it comes to the US market, as well as they start the earnings week this week around, and the expectation is that the earnings are going to be weak, and all of this really led to a bit of sober sentiment. Europe, as we know, also closed in the red, and of course it's a very important day because the parliament is going to vote on the Brexit vote today, and that's the reason the pound will be in focus as well. Separately, Asia this morning is trading higher. Nikkei was up around 0.5%. Hang Seng had put on 200 points at the last time I checked, and as a result, SGX Nifty was suggesting a start at the 10,800 mark. What is really aiding the sentiment today is the fact that the crude has fallen below the $60 per barrel mark. Rupee yesterday had gone around the level of 71, so watch out for that in trade today. And separately, we had got the CPI data, what came in lower than expectation at 2.19%, which means that the rate sensitives can be in focus today on the expectation of a rate cut. So that might just aid the sentiment as far as financials is considered today. And lastly, in terms of the important levels to watch out for, the SGX Nifty suggesting a start at 10,800 mark. But do remember, we have been facing stiff resistance around that zone. And of course, the 100-day moving average around 10,850 is very important to watch out for.
All right, Anisha, thanks a lot for that. But also tell us, what are the stocks that you're watching out for today?
Hi Sonal, very good morning. Well, I'll start with the crude and rate sensitives. As I mentioned, crude below $60 per barrel, and on account of the CPI, the rate sensitives will be in focus. Separately, yesterday Bank Nifty and a lot of these PSU banks were in focus because of the Mudra loan statements that we got. But now we understand from government sources that RBI has not submitted any report, and as per the government sources, that Mudra loan NPA at around 3.5% is at a reasonable level, so that might just be something to watch out for. Separately, it's earnings season, so a lot of earnings are expected today. Top of the mind is, of course, the entertainment. That stock saw a bit of spike in the last hour of trade, so keep an eye out on that. And separately, we had KPIT Tech, MCX, Network 18 and TV 18, of course, Jai Bharat Maruti and the likes. What will be reacting to numbers today is ICICI Securities as well as Tata Metallics. So in ICICI Securities, the net profit is actually down 34%, so a red tick for that. Tata Metallics, well, the revenue is up around 12%, but the margins actually came down a tad bit, and tad bit of niggling worry there. And lastly, keep an eye out for Wipro because they announced yesterday that they will be considering a bonus issue, so that might see a bit of green tick. Back to you guys.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Anisha. But moving on then, here's a quick programming note for our viewers. Now, with the new rules in DTH and cable coming into effect from February 1st, you have to choose the channels you wish to watch by January 31st. Now, to keep watching India's #1 English business news channel, cnbc TV 18, call your cable or DTH operator and ask for the Colors Family Pack. That's inclusive of around 24 channels, available for 35 rupees per month, or subscribe to the channel for rupees 4 per month. The channels are also available on the a la carte basis. Now, to keep watching the leader in global market and business news, cnbc TV 18 Prime HD, call your cable and DTH operator and ask for the Colors Family HD Pack. That's inclusive of 25 channels, available for 50 rupees per month, or subscribe to the channel for rupees 1 on a per month basis.